Hey, I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the September 12th, 2025 Direct. I will not be showing any of the video from the Direct because I do not trust the powers that be to not smite me on high for daring to include some of it, so feel free to play me in another tab or in the background while you do something else because you will not miss much. I'll get right into it, going in the same order the Direct did. Timestamps are available in the description if you wish to skip around. The Mario Galaxy movie. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Mario Galaxy good and Mario movie pretty good, so it'll probably be pretty good as long as they don't lean too hard into inserting the Luma into anything and everything possible. Notably, they almost made the same mistake they did on the original Galaxy games, where the letters in the title art happened to spell out "You are Mr. Gay" if you read only the letters with the sparkles in it. And that was in a time where it was largely considered funny to call people gay. We almost got he Mr. Gay, but both A's in the new title remain sparkleless, so we are not blessed with another funny. Fate is cruel, but it's probably for the best, as the newer generations probably do not think homoeroticism is nearly as funny as people like I do. Mario Tennis Fever. Okay, I actually thought this looked kind of meh at first, but then when they were talking about the fever rackets and the 30 plus character roster, they started winning me over a little bit. But then they revealed that Talking Flower was heavily featured, and that's honestly a deal breaker to me. That's not a joke. I'm not kidding. I hate Talking Flower. He's obnoxious. I hate his voice. I hate his stupid little face. I hate how he's everywhere all the time. I never bought Wonder, and half of the reason for it was the Talking Flower. The baby adventure mode they showed off is interesting, more interesting than it has any right to be, really. But it feels like it's a shame that that's tied to a tennis spin-off game, and they probably could have done. They probably could have done something with like that. Could have been really cool. Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Meetup at Bellabel Park. They led with Talking Flower, which I hated, and it's Wonder, so I'm not very interested. And they're also doing the whole buy this game again or pay to upgrade the game you already bought thing, which I personally view as an evil aligned action and do not support. The game itself looks fine. I'm sure people will like it and have a nice time. Whoever came up with the name for this product should have their name creating license revoked. Too long, too many words. You could have just gone like Super Mario Brothers Wonder plus Bellabel Park, and it would have felt way better. But that like super doesn't matter. The fact that they made Talking Flower a real thing, a real life item, unironically a sign of the end times. I will not be elaborating. The fact that people like Talking Flower enough for that to become a real product is how I know that humanity was a mistake and should not have been allowed to advance this far. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. Alright, the first thing I thought was we're getting a new Yoshi story. And that's kind of cool. As of writing it, as part of the script, I have not gotten past the name drop of Mr. E, which is a good bit. That's a good name. Simple, clever, really good. Continuing on now, the fact that the book doesn't know what's inside of it because the face is on the cover of the book is hilarious. I mean, it makes sense, but like such a simple concept is just kind of stupidly funny. I don't really care for the low frame rate animation style of this game. The Play-Doh-y kind of high saturation style as a whole is a little off-putting, but it's not yarn, so we're moving in the right direction. It looks good overall. I think that'll do well. Storm Lancers. I'm not very interested in this one, but couch co-op is always a plus, and it looks cool. Dinkum. Pass. Don't like the way it looks. Good, safe concept. Probably good for somebody. Popucom. This looks like a good game. I think this one will be great. This gives me co-op Portal 2 vibes, and that was a wonderful time. If I had kids, I would make sure they had this game. Whoever made this, fantastic job. You did really well with it. Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream. Oh good God, it's back. This this one's gonna be good, and it's not gonna be good because it is good. It's gonna be good because it's bad. And I mean that in the most affectionate way possible. This looks like it's gonna play a lot like The Sims if it was made for shit posters and psychopaths. I can already tell I will be subjected to the content from this on Discord for several months straight. So probably a good pickup. If you liked the last Tomodachi, I can only imagine you will like this one. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. It's play this old game you like on a new platform. Good if you like the originals. Online support actually very cool to add. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. It's play this old game you like on a new platform. It's good if you like the originals. Linked Banner of the Spark. This has like a lot going on in it. I don't think I'm interested in it, but like this could be a lot of value for a single title if it's not just throwing mechanics in for the sake of having mechanics in the game. Like you can do a lot in that one. There's a lot of systems from a lot of backgrounds in there. Hades 2. The first Hades was really cool. It's not really my kind of game, but if it follows in the footsteps of the original, it'll be real good, because that first one was real good. Visually, it's really, really cool, so don't imagine that one's gonna go poorly. The Kirby Air Riders Amiibo. I am actually ridiculously excited for Kirby Air Riders. Child May sank so many hours into Kirby Air Ride. It's genuinely fantastic. Kirby Air Riders is the first game that I would buy a Nintendo Switch 2 for. I do not have one. I very much want one, but that price tag is ridiculous and not something I can afford these days. It seems like you can train these amiibos just like the ones from Smash, so that's super cool because that's a really fun system. I'm very sad I won't be able to play this one on launch, but that economy do be in shambles. The fact that it's getting a second direct of its own is wild. And let me say that doubling your sales by making the Rider and Star interchangeable is a stroke of genius. Because now players not only have to buy the character they want, but also one they want less because it has a more optimal star or a star they like better. Masterfully executed. I'm not super happy about it, but I will fall for it at some point. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I don't care for this kind of game much. I do like that they usually provide a pretty large number of models to rip for animators to play with. I think that's pretty cool and good. Wake me up when we see the Hyrule Warriors / One Piece crossover game. I still won't buy or play it, but it'll be neat. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. This told me remarkably little about the game. I assume this is a re-release or remaster, so maybe they expected people to know already. I don't personally care for it, but the animators for this went ham. It looks good. Great job, guys. The trailer looks fantastic. The Nintendo Today Smart Device app was called out as something you should look at. This is something that exists. I could not care less about it. It appears that they would like me to care about it. I will not be caring about it. However, it does look like they're doing like some lore drops and stuff in there, and some maybe exclusive game information, so maybe a source to keep an eye on. I don't care enough about it to download that or anything. The Nintendo Classics Virtual Boy. Buy the Virtual Boy again, I guess. I will not be buying the Virtual Boy. I actually initially jumped to conclusions on this bit a little, because I thought this would actually be like a peripheral that mattered, that had some kind of components to it. But no, you're actually buying a plastic recreation of the Virtual Boy and then taping your Switch and or Switch 2 to your forehead. No thank you. Nice try. I've been tricked into putting a toaster on my face to play games before, and I really only use that to visit alcoholics from a safe distance. So, oh, there's also a cardboard version available for poor people. Thank you, Nintendo, for not leaving us out. Fatal Frame 2 Remake. It's play this old game you like on a new platform. Good if you like the originals. Games that Nintendo wants you to buy again, but for Switch 2. I will not be providing images for these ones because I do not approve of the whole new edition being an additional cost policy. Even with small additions here and there, I don't support that. One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, you can have more enemies on screen. Overcooked 2, you can dox yourself with a webcam. Stardew Valley, you can use mouse controls. And there's 4-player local split screen and game share, which might actually be very cool for some people, admittedly. I think local multiplayer is probably pretty cool for that. And the game share with only one person having to own it is actually also very cool. Human Fall Flat, more levels and mouse controls. Whoop-de-doo. Powerwash Simulator 2. The multiplayer looks really choppy. I don't know if it's like that on PC. If it is like that on PC and that's intended, I guess that's not an issue. Powerwash Simulator was novel the first time, and I'm sure people will like it a second time. Suika Game Planet. This feels like one of those old browser games, back when like addictinggames.com was a thing. I don't even know if that's a safe website anymore to go to, honestly. Probably don't check that out. That's not a bad thing. I think those games were great. If you remember Bubble Tanks, I was a big fan of Bubble Tanks. This probably makes some people really happy, so, good job. That looks neat. I've seen this gameplay loop before, and it was not bad. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. If you had told me this was a brand new game, I would have believed you, because this is my first exposure to Biker Samus, which is quite possibly one of the most metal things I've seen in a good while. Unfortunately, the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition makes me think this game already existed and was not very good, which is why I never heard of it before today. I haven't seen what this next one is yet. You see it on screen right now. I only heard that DK Isle's theme and the dopamine rush just like measurably extended my will to live. If this is not a Donkey Kong 64 successor, I will be very cross. I already hear Pauline's voice, so this has to be Bananza related. Donkey Kong, Bananza, DK Island, and Emerald Rush. Island. DK Island, not DK Isles. You had one job, Nintendo. Come on. It's a roguelite. And they just reskinned gold, green. And they brought back Void Kong. Wow, that was legitimately depressing. That's... After how cool and good Bananza was, even with massacring DK's design and making you carry around a talkative child/Disney princess the whole time, I really didn't think that the DLC for it would be such a letdown. It's kind of gross. Alright, hold on, we got Pokemon. Please excuse my childlike glee as I temper my expectations with the reality of the last a lot of Pokemon releases being not quite as cool as I had hoped. So, this little Ditto thing they did for the opening of this, horrific, actually. Also, the Pokemon talk, so the game will either be peak or garbage, depending on the writing. If it goes the route of Mystery Dungeon, we're a lot closer to peak. If it goes the route of any other instances of Pokemon talking, probably garbage. Pokopia. This is where the Animal Crossing development has been hiding. It looks a little sickening, I think. It's like a bit too cutesy. The Ditto person is unsettling to say the least. And are we just going to gloss over the opening with the damaged and abandoned Pokedex? Is that trainer dead? Does the Ditto care that trainer is gone? Like, they're in the picture with it. Regardless, it appears to be Pokemon-flavored Animal Crossing. Not exactly the way I would have expected that to be done. It could be really cool. It could be a nice time. I don't think this one is for me, despite my adoration of both Pokemon and Animal Crossing. Kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. And I'm honestly unreasonably bothered by the plot hole that is Ditto learning moves that are not transform, because that's not possible. It doesn't work like that. Legends ZA. Now we're cooking with gas. Let's get into it. I'm pretty sure I just witnessed the equivalent of a Pokemon trainer jumping another Pokemon trainer in the street at night, which is a hilarious concept. But also we've got more megas. You should know already that there will be Legends ZA spoilers in this, so if you're trying to maintain a spoiler-free intelligence, This is your last chance. Skip this part if you do not wish to know of them. You have been warned. The Kalos starters are looking pretty good, actually. I was worried that these would look a little bit garbage. I was not the hugest fan of the Dragonite design. I'm okay with the Victory Bell one. I don't really care for the Hawlucha one. I think it's not different enough. Metamar's cool. It's cool. Let's see, we've got Doom Dark Ages Chestnut, very cool. Surfer Wizard Delphox, very, very cool. And we've got Please Forget Ash Greninja Exists Greninja, the least cool of the three, in my opinion. We're seeing some rogue mega fights around the level 60 range, which should be probably around the end of the main plot of the game, if I had to guess. And I would like to take a moment to remind everybody that rogue and rouge are different words. Rogue is a D&D class. Rouge is a color. Rogue means to go off on one's own. Rouge is a kleptomaniac bat that has in recent games had a successful bust reduction operation and likely has way less back problems now. And actually, that looks like it's it. That's all we get for ZA. That's it. Oh, hang on. This is unexpected, actually. There are unleaked megas. That's wild. Good job keeping that one under wraps, Pokemon Company, Game Freak, whoever else is involved. These are evidently Raichu, despite both looking like Pikachu, doing a little bit of disservice to Raichu there, and it's an X version and a Y version, and they are, of course, shaped like an X and Y because they hate good things and wanted to pin themselves into a design corner. Also, announcing paid DLC for a game that isn't even out yet is weird. Does that feel weird to anybody else? Why would you announce that people are going to have to pay even more to get all of the Pokemon when that exact thing has been a complaint about the series since Generation 1? Like, completing the entire Pokedex is like $1,000 endeavor these days. That's not cool. It's not good. It's not a good thing. Maybe Pokemon is hurting for money after trying to bully Pal World out of the market, farming patents that really shouldn't be granted to anybody. Remember, kids, you can love Pokemon. It's okay to love Pokemon, but we do not love the Pokemon Company. Oh, that actually is it for Pokemon this time. That's it. No champions? Okay. Danganronpa 2x2. It's play this old game if you like on a new platform. Good if you like the originals. It looks like they've added a little bit of extra story this time. Dynasty Warriors Origins, for if you like fighting hordes but do not like Legend of Zelda or Magical Pirates. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection. No one in the dev team of this thought calling the various cool giant beasts, monsters, and dragons monsties was questionable. Just me. Okay. This appears to be Monster Hunter, but anime, so if that's your thing, go ham, gamer. Here we have a bunch of games that apparently did not deserve or could not afford their own slots, and they are listed here as follows. 2 Point Museum, Disgaea 7 Complete. I've actually wanted to try that one for a long time, maybe one day. Definitely on Steam, though. EA Sports FC 26, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake, Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage, Lego Voyagers, Little Nightmares 3, Persona 3 Reload, Resident Evil Requiem. This is a long spooky trailer where they explain nothing. I saw the Umbrella Corporation logo and I know enough to know that that's important, but that's about it. Biohazard and Village Gold editions were also mentioned. I don't think I know enough about Resident Evil to have picked out the important details in that, unfortunately. I'm not really a Resident Evil enjoyer, personally. The last announcement, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. This was very anime. I learned nothing. It looks neat though, and it did show the typical grid-based Fire Emblem combat gameplay. If you like Fire Emblem, this appears to be more Fire Emblem. There was a green-haired lady I recognized from an earlier Fire Emblem. She was in it, and she seems important. None of them were in Smash Brothers, so I assume that this is a new story with new characters. I am that uncultured when it comes to Fire Emblem. My apologies. All in all, I am not terribly hyped after this direct. If I were to give you the 3 titles I personally felt showed the best, I would propose to you the Kirby Air Riders amiibo. Kirby Air Riders wasn't even featured itself. They showed the 2 amiibo and they said it would get its own direct and more amiibo. Probably Mario Wonder Bellabel Park, even though I hate it. I hate it on principle. The Popucom, I guess. It showed really well. I care about it more than probably 80% of the other things mentioned in the direct, which is very telling. That's just my take on it, mind you. My opinion does not actually matter, for I do not control what gets made, or whether or not you can buy it. You should like the things you like and have fun. Pokemon Company, Game Freak, whoever's listening, I am begging you, just give me a mainline Pokemon game with a new updated battle frontier. Nintendo in general, please release 3D platformer collectathons again, like the Nintendo 64 era. I beg. Thanks for listening to me talk about this for however long it's been. Looks like it's a little over 20 minutes. I might do this again in the future. If you are interested in me doing this again in the future, let me know. Otherwise, it might happen, it might not happen. I saw it today. Originally, I thought it was just a Pokemon Direct because people were talking to me about Megas, and then I went to go look for it. It turns out it was an entire Nintendo Direct, so I did the entire Nintendo Direct. Which is good, because the Pokemon part was probably one of the least interesting parts. Alright. Thanks for stopping by. See you later, man.